Here in Minneapolis, temperatures in the low 30s, right around 24, 25 degrees when you factor in the wind chill, as these brave souls have come out here at TCF Bank Stadium, downtown Minneapolis, on the campus of the University of Minnesota. There's Mike Zimmer, the 58-year-old rookie NFL head coach, his first head coaching position at any level, and Rex Ryan, who is on that hot seat that continues to get a little bit warmer with each passing week. Jets will receive. Blair Walsh boots it away. This is Percy Harvin, the former Minnesota Viking, across the 20 and brought down at around the 23-yard line after a return of 18 yards. Here comes Geno Smith, the 24-year-old second-year quarterback, just 1-8 solid as a starter this season.
Well, he talked about it, and I love some of the things I heard from him when we met with him last night, Spiro. Full accountability for the need to improve at the quarterback position. He feels that he's let a lot of people down, but he's got 4 games to recover and make up for it.
You see his numbers, so much made of that game plan offensively last week. And what was a very winnable game on Monday night against the Dolphins. They pass on first down, and it's picked off. Gerald Hodges inside the 10, and he is in for the pick 6. And a nightmare start for Geno Smith and the Jets.
He was trying to go to Percy Harvin on the quick slant route, and Hodges was able to jump the route. He read the eyes of the young quarterback, Geno Smith. Go ahead and take a look. It's going to be a quick slant right here. And that's where he's trying to go. If we go ahead and take a look at it, he's going to try to get it in. And look at Hodges, able to jump the route from the slot route.
Hodges,
it's a good read on the quarterback, right?
27 yards on the return by Hodges today, making the start for the rookie outside linebacker Anthony Barr, who's out with the knee injury, as the point after from Walsh is good. Can't imagine a worse start for Rex Ryan's Jets as we take another look.
Look at Hodges jump the route, one hand. Ball was thrown slightly behind him. But Geno was trusting just to cut it loose. But you have to be able to key read on the defender if that's where you want to go with the football. And then he takes a lick as he's trying to go down and make the tackle.
Sally, we had a chance to sit down with Geno, and one of the things he said was, look, I know I've been a big part of the problem. I wanted to be a part of the solution as they go back to him over these last 4 weeks. And now let's see what kind of resolve the young man has, who has been through the ringer, of course, with the New York media and the fan backlash in New York. An interception returned for a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage by Gerald Hodges.
Well, turnovers have been a problem for Geno Smith. 36 total turnovers in his 26 career starts. As you take a look at Michael Vick, they're going to talk to the young quarterback. That was his 37th career turnover. More than anything, he's got to protect the football, but he said it himself that improvement is necessary.
Walsh, a busy man already. This time boots it through the back of the end zone. Harvin unable to play it, and Geno will hit the reset button, come back onto the field, and start from the 20. Let's look at the Jets starters offensively. Brickishaw Ferguson covering that blind side from Smith, the 3-time Pro Bowler, 4th overall pick back in 2006. Backs and receivers, Eric Decker, back at his old stomping grounds, grew up about an hour's drive from here in Cold Spring, Minnesota, and played his collegiate football right here in this very stadium for 4 years as a Golden Gopher. Also a member of the baseball team here during his decorated collegiate career. 1st and 10, Smith from the gun on 1st and 10. This is Chris Ivory. Crosses the 20, and forward progress takes him to just outside the 21 for a pickup of 2. Let's take a look at the defensive starters for Mike Zimmer. What a season it has been for Everson Griffin. Frontline starter for the first time in his career after playing behind Jared Allen. 2nd in the NFC with his career-high 11 sacks. You already heard from Hodges starting today for the injured Barr, who misses his first game of the season, and Harrison Smith having a Pro Bowl caliber season, tied for 3rd in the NFL with 4 interceptions. 2nd and 8. This is Ivory again, unable to find the edge, picks up a yard, maybe 2. Captain Munnerlyn among the tacklers for the Vikings.
Take a look at Mike Zimmer. His defense has really got to be geared up to take the run away, and as we said, put it on Geno Smith. Geno's already thrown the interception. And remember when we talked to Rex Ryan, he said he wanted to come out and try to run it 40 or more times. It's interesting that they would open up the game with Geno throwing it after allowing him to attempt only 13 passes on the Monday night game.
3rd and 7 from the 23. Smith has time, airs it out, he's got his man wide open. Percy Harvin deep inside Minnesota territory and finally brought down at the 34 by Josh Robinson. Harvin had about 10 yards of open space, and Geno got it to him perfectly.
Oh, look, it's just a wheel route. He was in the slot. Look, they turn him loose. He gets wide open. And Geno's not going to miss that one. He was able to see it right away and threw the ball on the money to Percy Harvin. Good read, good recognition by the quarterback, Geno Smith.
45 yards through the air to give the Jets a 1st and 10 from the 32. Play action, Smith flushed out. Tucks it away, will just run it out of bounds. Picks up maybe a yard on the play. Brian Robinson, the 8th-year defensive end, runs him out of bounds. So here's Percy Harvin, drafted 22nd overall by Minnesota back in 09. Spent his first 4 years here and had some very prolific games as a Viking.
Yeah, we said at the top of the game that I think the Jets have to use his motivation. After spending 4 years here with the Minnesota Vikings, you know he's going to come in here wanting to make an impact on today's game. If I'm Marty Morningwig, I'm going to play on that and use it to my advantage.
2nd and 10 from the 32. That spot, a dribble of Geno, the little shovel pass. That's Jeremy Curley trying to make something out of nothing. They dump him down right at the line of scrimmage as Geno tries to gamble that time. And what it could have been an ugly play.
Yeah,
Bad snap by Mangold.
Yeah, Nick Mangold on the snap didn't quite get it back to his quarterback. And, you know, Geno's trying to recover, trying to make a play for his center, and then he was able to flip it over to Curley. And Nick Mangold, a stellar 9-year pro at that position, normally doing a much better job of executing the snap.
5-time Pro Bowler, 3rd and 10 from the 32. Smith under pressure, sacked. Harrison Smith leading the charge. Big loss for the Jets, and they will punt after a loss of 12.
Number 22, Harrison Smith. When you see him move up in the box, Spiro, that's where you have to be alert. And you got to know it's going to be a free runner to the quarterback. Jeff Cumberland can't block Brian Robinson as well as Harrison Smith to keep him off the quarterback. Good disguise on the blitz by the safety, Harrison Smith.
Ryan Quigley to punt it away. Fair catch signaled by Marcus Sherrills. 34-yard punt. Nicely placed by Quigley. Another look at the pick six just moments ago by Gerald Hodges on the first play from scrimmage. Vikings with the early lead. 7-0 Vikings on the pick six by Gerald Hodges. Teddy Bridgewater, I should say, onto the field, the 22-year-old rookie, taken with the 32nd overall pick in last May's NFL draft. Today, this is his 9th career start. Some pre-snap movement. Right side of the line looked like Matt Khalil and Charlie Johnson. Here's our referee, Jerome Boger.
All-star offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's Joe Berger, their center. There's a Bridgewater solidly under pressure to continue to play well. Last week, his best game as a pro, couple of touchdowns in the win over Carolina, and didn't throw a pick. Really starting to limit those mistakes as he touched down at the top.
And that was against a 4-3 look. This is going to be a totally different look for Rex Ryan's defense here today. Much more exotic.
Vikings keep it on the ground after the penalty. This is Matt Asiata, the 3rd-year runner out of Utah, running for a couple. Matt Khalil, who has been hampered by a knee injury, that right leg since the start of last season, really hasn't looked like himself. A Pro Bowler as a rookie back in 2012. Charles Johnson starting again at the wide receiver, a young man undrafted out of Grand Valley State who has really started to come on of late. today, making his third consecutive start, has overtaken Cordero Patterson at that wide receiver position. 2nd and 13 from the 8. Bridgewater under pressure, they'll get to him for the safety. Sheldon Richardson buries Bridgewater, and the Jets defense getting him on the board.
This is an area of Rex Ryan's football team that has not disappointed during the 2014 season. You're going to see him right here. He'll come around on the stunt. See him come around, and then that's where Khalil can't recover. Bridgewater doesn't see him in time to get rid of the football. Veteran quarterbacks know you don't get caught holding the football in the end zone. Doesn't get the protection that the Jets net themselves a safety to get 2 points on the board.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Jared the Galleria of Jewelry. And by Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further.
Mississippi River here on a frigid Sunday afternoon. Sheldon Richardson, the safety, now at 4.5 sacks on the season. Last year, that stellar rookie campaign, and NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year, as the Jets able to cut the deficit to 5. Jeff Locke to punt it back into play to the Jets. This is John Connor, their fullback, tackled around the ankles just inside that 35-yard line. Sally, take us back to the safety.
Oh, it's a stunt. You can see Babin over on the left side, and here's number 91. He'll come all the way around and watch the left tackle, 75, Matt Khalil. See, he doesn't pass off and come off quick enough to be able to protect from Sheldon Richardson. Keep him off the quarterback. Richardson's very powerful, very explosive coming around that corner.
Well, keep in mind, no Mo Wilkerson today for the Jets. Their anchor on that defensive front that has been so good this season, out the 2nd straight week with turf toe. 1st and 10. Geno Smith keeps it on the ground. This is Chris Ivory. Minimal pickup on that 1st down play, just getting back to the line of scrimmage. Hodges, who had the pick 6 on the tackle, as Bridgewater and company going over what went down on that safety a moment ago.
Yeah, you know, Bridgewater's got to trust the left tackle, Khalil, to be able to pick it up. He never saw Richardson, but at least he was able to protect the football.
2nd and 9. Ivory again. Getting close to the 40 as they pick up 4 yards. So all the talk last week about what they did on the ground, 49 runs, Sally, to 13 passes. You don't see that kind of breakdown very often.
Yeah, Rex Ryan said, I never had to apologize for rushing for nearly 300 yards in a game. He felt like he spent the entire week explaining why they ran the ball so much. He said, you know, yeah, our quarterback, he's a talented guy. He does need to improve, but he said that's what you do. You run the ball in November and December to win in the NFL.
Bilal Powell checks into the game, the 4th-year running back on 3rd and 5. Smith again under pressure, able to elude Griffin, throws it up in a dangerous pass. Munnerlyn on the coverage against Curly. Penalty markers come in. Well, Smith just kind of threw it up there, and this one appears to be a pass interference against Munnerlyn.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. Spot of the foul, automatic, 1st down.
Munnerlyn, their prize free agent signing in the offseason in terms of that back-end secondary, as we're taking another look.
See, he just doesn't find the football. He's just hoping and wishing. And we call that playing blind in the secondary. Now, pressure does provide an opportunity to get interception on the back end. Pressure on Geno Smith. He threw that ball up for grabs. Could have easily been intercepted.
Turns out to be a 21-yard penalty. This is Ivory again, getting ahead to the 35. And just to get back to the Jets' game plan of running, given the fact that the Vikings, Sally, have really struggled stopping the run of late, and the Jets' success 2nd in the NFL in rushing the football, no reason to think that plan would change. Maybe not to that discrepancy that we saw last week.
Yeah, as you take a look at Marty Morningwig, they've already thrown it more times than they've run it here today.
2nd and 6, direct snap. This is Powell. Vikings weren't fooled. They dump him for a loss. Forward progress may have taken him to the line of scrimmage. We'll see where they spotted Harrison Smith on the stop. It'll be 3rd and 6.
And that's their 6th rushing attempt so far today. So they're now starting to get the run game going. We talked to Geno Smith about it. He said that Marty Morningwig will meet with the quarterbacks. They script the first 15 plays of the game, and then they'll let that determine what they'll do as the game evolves. But the first 15 are predetermined before they ever arrive to the stadium.
Morningwig's second season as the Jets offensive coordinator. What does he dial up here on 3rd and 6? Smith from the gun, pump fakes, takes a shot near side, caught in the end zone for the touchdown. It's Harvin, 35 yards as Smith finds him in the end zone.
He's working against Josh Robinson to the right side, and Harvin just uses his talent. He uses his speed to get vertical down the field. He's going to go here, and then Geno gives him a chance to make a play. Now, this is an incredible throw by Geno. Underthrows it a little, but look at the adjustment by Percy Harvin. Using his motivation to come back and victimize his former team. Comes up big right there for his quarterback, Geno Smith.
And a long touchdown drought for Percy Harvin ends. First touchdown reception, as you saw, since 2012. Nick Folk dealing with that hip injury this week. Bangs through the point after. Percy Harvin on a 35-yard touchdown catch, and the Jets. Oh, you can vote now for the 2015 Pro Bowl. It's fantasy football for real. Select the best players at every position, regardless of conference, either online or on your mobile device right now at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. And Geno Smith throwing the pick 6 on the first play from scrimmage. Since then, 3 of 3 solid, 80 yards and a 35-yard touchdown to that man, the former Viking, Percy Harvin.
Right now, the Jets offense is well balanced. 6 run plays, 6 pass plays. They're showing that they do trust Geno a little bit more here today, even after throwing the pick 6 on his first pass attempt of the game.
A lot of talk about Harvin, who was acquired, of course, right before that Buffalo game, Week 8. Had that huge game against Kansas City, Sally, in Week 9. The thought was that he would really, give this offense a shot in the arm, but he had been quiet over the last couple of games. Held under 30 yards receiving in 4 of his 5 games with the Jets. And so far today, 2 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Obviously extra motivated coming here against his old team.
Yeah, we said it at the top that if I'm an offensive coordinator and I have Percy Harvin coming to play his old team, I'm going to use that motivation to my advantage and allow him opportunities to make plays in the early going of today's game.
Jets have to have it held for Folk. There was a question mark this week. Hurt his hip in that loss to the Dolphins. Missed a couple of field goals last Monday night. And it's Marcus Sherrills getting close to 30. As we take another look, Sally, at the touchdown pass to Harvin.
Yeah, 21, Josh Robinson. See, he doesn't disrupt Percy Harvin's release from the line of scrimmage, and that speed's going to work against him. And then Harvin is able to make an adjustment and come back to the ball. Again, the cornerbacks for the Minnesota Vikings playing blind, and if you defend Percy Harvin like that all day, the numbers he has so far, they're just going to go up. His stock's going to continue to rise as we go deeper into the game.
And here's Bridgewater, who began the season as the number 2 here behind Christian Ponder. Asiata picks up a gain of maybe a yard on first down. Made his first start and debut Week 4 against Atlanta, won that game. And then the starter for good a couple of weeks later in Week 6, and they've never looked back.
I will tell you this, though. A lot of pressure on Teddy Bridgewater. Remember, he's playing without Adrian Peterson. And all due respect to the other running backs, the defense can really focus on the quarterback.
2nd and 9. And a short pass over the middle. This is Asiata, making his 6th start of the season, 6 yards. And that'll set up a 3rd and short. Sally, what an obstacle for this franchise. The story that really took the whole league and the sports world by storm. Peterson getting suspended after that opening game and really forced them to reshuffle the deck. This is 3rd and 3. Short pass near side. That is Greg Jennings for 7 yards. That'll move the chains just inside the 45-yard line.
Yeah, even as we take a look at Jennings make this catch. Even Jennings talked about it when we met with him yesterday, and how much this offense is set back due to the absence of Adrian Peterson. Said one of the best players in the National Football League, and defenses don't have to respect our run game. And he said they are playing us differently. And so it makes it, I think, even more difficult for a rookie quarterback to succeed when the defense can focus on your young quarterback and they don't have to respect the runner in the backfield.
Bridgewater, pump fakes, under pressure, has his man, and he's complete for the touchdown, and it's Charles Johnson. 56 yards, there is a penalty marker on the field. Back at the 31-yard line of the Jets.
Darian Walls was beaten badly by Charles Johnson.
Holding, defense number 22. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Marcus Williams, the rookie corner, the culprit, so the 56-yard touchdown throw to Charles Johnson will stand. His second touchdown reception in what is today his third consecutive start as Minnesota moves back in front. And the chance of Teddy here in Minneapolis. Point after from Walsh is good. So Bridgewater answers after the safety. 56-yard strike to Johnson. 14-9, Vikings in front. Looks like a penalty marker was thrown on the point after.
Over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 75. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Timeout.
That's Khalil, the third-year tackle. 14-9 Minnesota. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
A 56-yard touchdown pass. Bridgewater to Charles Johnson, the second-year wideout out of Grand Valley State. The longest pass completion of the season. 14-9. Vikings back in front, just past the 6-minute mark of his first quarter. Harvin muffs the kick. He's going to make something out of nothing here. Crosses the 40 inside Vikings territory. Harvin's so dangerous. Just when you thought the play was dead in the water, electrifying return by Harvin of 47 yards to give Geno Smith the short field. Solly, what happened on that last touchdown pass by Bridgewater?
Well, it's Charles Johnson just really taking this one down the field, but take a look at the throw from Bridgewater. This is the big-time arm, and the reason why he was drafted at the bottom of the first round. Good protection, then he steps up after the double move by Johnson. Look how he led him away from the defender. That's a big-time throw by the rookie quarterback, and hit him the double move. That's how he set up Darren Walls to beat him. He gets open. Bridgewater does the rest.
This is Chris Johnson on his first run of the day. Picks up a couple. Clock continues to run with 5:34 to play in this first quarter. This was supposed to be a breakout season for Cordero Patterson, the Vikings' second-year receiver, but it has been Charles Johnson, at least over the last couple of weeks. It has been Norv Turner's favorite receiver in this Minnesota offense. 2nd and 8 from just inside the 35. Smith has time over the middle. This is Decker, the former Golden Gopher. Nifty little cutback maneuver to get ahead to the 25. Pickup of 8 yards. And a Jet first down. Thursday, Larry Fitzgerald and the first-place Cardinals will take on the Rams as the playoff chase heats up. Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8 Eastern, live on NFL Network. Well, Decker came over from Denver, signed that big deal during the offseason, hampered by the hamstring pull that he tweaked originally in camp. Just now starting to get close to full strength. But it has been a frustrating season, to say the least, for Decker. Johnson again. Forward momentum gives him about 3. And that'll set up a 2nd down and 7.
Right now, the offense is as scripted. Marty Morningwig very balanced with this offense. They come in with the first 15 plays scripted, 8 run plays, 7 pass plays. That's the menu for today, and then the success is going to dictate what they do the rest of the game. So you like the fact that they did put together a more balanced approach, and Geno Smith is playing well in the early going if you take away that early interception.
This is Johnson straight ahead, ducks inside the 20, close to the 17-yard line. Johnson, unless he has a huge rush of yards over the last couple of weeks, Sally, it'll be the first season of his career, 7 years in the league, where he will not rush for 1,000 yards, and they just never quite figured out how to utilize him in a year that has been so up and down offensively.
No, I think it's been about, a committee. And, if you look at Chris Ivory, the way that he runs, I think even Mike Zimmer said he runs angry. So they do have a good committee of running backs.
3rd and short, little pitch play. This is Harvin. May have gotten to the line of scrimmage, brought down by a host of Viking defenders, and it will be 4th and 2.
Remember, they ran the ball with some of the reverse action in the Monday night game against the Dolphins. 277 rush yards in that game. Very impressive. And I think it's really predicated on the strength of their offensive line. This is a really good run-blocking offensive line. I would run it even more here today, given the fact that the Vikings' run defense has not been stellar all season long.
36-yard attempt from Folk. Missed a couple of field goals, and it could very well have cost the Jets the game Monday night against Miami. Playing today with that hip flexor injury, and Folk able to bang it in from 36 yards out. Plenty of scoring already, 14-12. Jets cut it to 2 on CBS. Jets had the short field, their drive stalls, but Nick Folk able to salvage 3 points with the 36-yard field goal to cut it to 2. Having all kinds of issues keeping that ball on a tee here with the wind whipping through TCF Bank Stadium here on the campus of the University of Minnesota. This is the first time that the Vikings are playing their home games outdoors since 1981. Their new downtown stadium under construction, 20 months away from opening. So wind has been a huge factor in their home games here all season long. Do a pooch kick on a pass. This is Asiata fielding it. Gets to the 40. Stumbles ahead to the 41, maybe 42. A dozen yards on the return. Zach Sudfeld able to make the tackle. Saturday, it's the only game that stands alone. All guts, all grit, all glory. Army-Navy. The hoopla begins with college football today. Special bonus coverage on CBS Sports Network beginning at noon Eastern. The 115th edition of that iconic rivalry. Army has not won since 2001. 12 straight wins for the midshipmen in that series. And today, of course, the 73rd year anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day. As remembrances all across the country. Jarius Wright, third-year receiver out of Arkansas, with a 4-yard reception. Marcus Williams, Sally on the tackle.
Well, you saw the quick throw from Teddy Bridgewater. That's the effect that Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, has really had on him. He said that Norv wants him to make quick decisions, get the ball out quickly with great accuracy.
2nd and 6, draw play. This is Asiata, making his 6th start of the season. Returned last week after missing their Week 12 game with a concussion. Sal, you talk about it all the time. When it comes time to get drafted for young quarterbacks, it's not where you go, it's where you end up. And hard to think there was a better spot for Bridgewater having a chance to be impacted by Norv Turner.
I think he has a chance to have an excellent career, given the fact that that man there, Norv Turner, is grooming him and teaching him. This is a guy that groomed the likes of Troy Aikman, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Alex Smith for a short stint in San Francisco. Everywhere he's gone, when he has had time to work with the quarterback, they have emerged as a significant player in the National Football League.
Bridgewater on 3rd and 2 has time to get it over the middle. First down and more. Jennings again inside Jets territory. down to the 44-yard line after a pickup of 7. And one thing that Mike Zimmer told us, Norv was really the perfect guy for this job. It's allowed Zimmer to focus on what he does with this defense.
That's right. He said he could go to Norv Turner with anything. He said he's been a head coach at 3 different stops. And Mike Zimmer leans heavily on Norv Turner to run the offense, and Zim focuses on the defense. I think it's a great marriage.
First and 10, they mark it from the 44. To keep it on the ground, this is Asiata. Really clothesline to the turf. Tough runner is this kid Asiata, their third-year running back. Picks up 8 hard-fought yards. Duzable and Richardson on the tackle. As that should take us to the end of the first quarter here in Minneapolis. Vikings postseason hopes hanging on by a thread at 5-7. As Bridgewater may try to run one more play, or will he? And that will do it. Now Bridgewater, 5 for 5, 80 yards and a long touchdown strike. He and the Vikings lead the Jets at the end of the first. We'll return to Minneapolis after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. (14-12), Minnesota leading the Jets here. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcox, our producer Vic Fine, Chris Fenson, our director, rest of our CBS crew. 2nd and 2 for Teddy Bridgewater, and the Vikings just outside the Jets 36. Asiata off tackle, keeping those legs churning inside the 30. First down run of 7. As Minnesota able to move the chains. Geno Smith able to recover solidly after that pick 6 to Hodges on the first play from scrimmage. Pretty good performance by both men.
2 young quarterbacks, a second-year pro and Geno Smith, the rookie, Teddy Bridgewater. Geno Smith, he's gotten off to a bumpy start early in his career. Teddy Bridgewater is now starting to see the light. The game is beginning to slow down for him, as evident of a good game he had 1 week ago.
And a trickery. This is Patterson. His first touch cuts inside the 25 and ahead to the 23 with a pickup of 6. We head to New York for our first update of the day with JB.
An important matchup indeed, Bill.
Yeah, AFC North, Sully. Here's Heath Miller off the play action. 1 yard from Ben Roethlisberger. And Pittsburgh takes the early lead 7-0 in the second.
Spiro and Solly.
A lot of eyes on that game and what has been a brutal battle in the AFC North all season. Cincinnati hanging on by the skin of their teeth atop that division. 7th play of the drive for Bridgewater and company. 2nd and 4 from the 23. Bridgewater, pocket collapses, hit as he throws, has his man wide open. Johnson, football comes loose, no signal yet. Now they say touchdown. 23 yards as Minnesota able to recover, and they build on their lead now at 20-12.
Wow, this is going to be Charles Johnson. Watch, he comes in, and then he comes all the way back out across the field. They lose sight of Johnson, but Teddy Bridgewater doesn't. And look, he fumbled before crossing the goal line, but then he recovers it. Look at that. It's going to be recovered by Jerome Felton for the touchdown. That ball was out before he crossed the goal line, right after that hit by Jarrett. And then there you can see it's going to be recovered by Felton. Touchdown Vikings. What an interesting play. Teddy Bridgewater even took a hit. There was tremendous pressure on the quarterback as he was able to get rid of that ball just before he took a whack by one of the defenders from the Jets.
Call is confirmed up by the replay people here in Minneapolis. Walsh's point after is good. First touchdown of the season for Felton. And the Vikings up in front of the Jets, 21-12 on CBS. 7 plays, 58 yards. It counts as a catch by Charles Johnson, a fumble, and a recovery for a touchdown in the end zone by Jerome Felton, their fullback. Now, we should point out, if that play had happened inside of 2 minutes of the first half, they would have marked it solidly at the 1 because of the fact that, of course, you can't advance the football on a fumble.
Not for a touchdown. Anyway, yeah, you can't advance it in under 2 minutes. Goes all the way back to, remember the Oakland Raiders, John Madden's Raiders against the San Diego Chargers, that play known as the Holy Roller. Dave Casper dribbling inside the end zone to fall on it for a touchdown.
Well, it's been a wild first half, hasn't it? We've had a safety, we've had a pick six, 2 long touchdown passes, and a recovered fumble for a touchdown a moment ago by Felton as Harvin crosses the 20 after a return of 22 yards. I'll get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app, the fastest app for sports fans. Download it right now, the CBS Sports app. Temperatures in the mid-20s today when you factor in the wind chill. TCF Bank Stadium on the campus of the University of Minnesota, where the Vikings are playing their home games until that downtown stadium is complete. About 20 months from where we stand right now. First and 10, Smith. Flushed out of the pocket. Won't take any chances. Throws it out of bounds. Chased by Robinson. Back to New York in an update with JB.
Andy Dalton looking for consistency.
Yeah, after Pittsburgh score, Andy Dalton 3 for 3, 75 yards on the drive. This 10-yard one that Jermaine Grisham ties the game 7-7 in the second.
Spiro Didi, Solomon Wilcots.
Sorry, who's taking up the vision?
I tell you what, we won't know till the final week.
That's what it looks like. Here's Ivory. On second and 10, barely picks up a yard, maybe 2, as they were spotted close to the 22-yard line. So 3rd and 8. We'll see what Marty Mornhinweg elects to do here. Ivory, Sally's been one of the few bright spots with this team, approaching 700 yards on the ground. A 50-year product out of Tiffin University in Ohio. Powell the lone setback on 3rd and 8. Curley in motion. Jets able to pick up the blitz nicely. Decker on the catch. First down if it stands. Penalty marker on the field. Closer to the line of scrimmage. It's a 14-yard reception by Decker. Now we wait the call from our referee today, Jerome Boger.
Holding, defense number 52. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
That's Chad Greenway, a longtime staple at outside linebacker on the penalty.
Well, they leave Decker wide open over on the boundary. An excellent pickup on the block by Bilal Powell against the blitzing linebacker. He allowed Geno Smith to get that ball loose, and Geno did a good job of recognizing the coverage, reading, and finding the open man.
The Jets line up Harvin in the backfield right next to Smith on 1st and 10. Draw play. This is Harvin dancing his way across the 40 after a pickup of 5. Another penalty marker on the field. Griffin on the tackle.
Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
It's Willie Colon. Sally, wild first half. We had the pick 6 on the first play from scrimmage by Hodges. And a fireworks ensued from there.
Yeah, things are happening. Sheldon Richardson gets in on the act, providing the safety on the sack for Teddy Bridgewater. And then Charles Johnson's going in for a touchdown, but then he's hit. Golf is fumbled, recovered by Felton for a touchdown. And this is what we've had today for our scoring summary. We've had some of everything. It's like gumbo. We got it all.
All we need, I guess, is a rushing touchdown, and we'll be hitting for the cycle. Jets whistled for their first penalty a moment ago. We'll see who came across first here. It looked like Griffin, but was he drawn off sides by the Jets?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You see Griffin right. You see the movement, 97 right there. Before DeBrickashaw Ferguson moved, Griffin was well into that neutral zone.
What a season it's been for Griffin, playing in the shadow of Jared Allen the last 4 years. Gave him that monster extension during the offseason. And he is second in the NFC with his career-high 11 sacks. Smith on 1st and 15. finds his man. That's Harvin again. It has been a busy first half. Harvin was never touched, and that second effort able to get the first down and more for the Jets.
Yeah, and, it's about sense of urgency. Watch Harvin. He's going to catch it, going to fall down. You get the sense that Wilson sort of lets up right here. But Harvin's going to get up and then pick up the first down. Look, before he's touched, he's already off the ground and powering forward for the first down. What did Harrison Smith tell us? He said he was one heck of a teammate. He's got the mindset of a defensive player. He's tough.
And Smith said Percy's his favorite player to watch. Obviously a different story today. This is Ivory. Unable to get to the edge. The football comes loose. Looks like it was after contact with the turf. Another penalty marker on the field right at the line of scrimmage. At the 50.
Holding off number 85. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That's the tight end, Jeff Cumberland. Sal, you can hear the wind whipping down
That's right.
on the field. Major concern for both of these offenses.
I think it shows you the arm strength of both quarterbacks. They've been able to drive the ball downfield in this win. We've seen a long throw from Bridgewater. We've also seen Geno Smith drive the ball with great accuracy in this win.
The Jets no strangers to playing in swirling winds at MetLife Stadium. Of course, the old Giant Stadium in East Rutherford. Notorious for those unpredictable wins over the years. 1st and 20 after the penalty. Ivory and Johnson in the backfield with Smith. Smith steps up, strikes and hits Curley on a crossing pattern. 18 yards close to the first down inside Minnesota territory.
I gotta tell you, I'm impressed with some of the throws that I'm seeing from Geno Smith. Watch this throw as Curley comes over the middle. He waits for him to clear the linebacker, then right in that window. Look, that ball's thrown with great accuracy, what we call ball placement, where the runner Curley can continue to create yards after the catch. Excellent throw with great accuracy and even better timing.
Geno at the moment 7 of 9, 136 yards, the touchdown and the early interception. Smith 2nd and 3, throwing far side, incomplete. Chris Owusu had it, and now they say he caught the football.
Well, he did. He should have caught it.
It is a completed pass. What concentration by the second-year man out of Stanford.
Look, ball would land right in his lap is what happened. He was pried loose. Now, he should have had it at first attempt, but watch the ball. Ball's right in his lap. Great concentration to stay with it. And again, another good throw from Geno Smith.
1st and 10. Jets keep it on the ground. This is Johnson. Lunges ahead, needed to get to the 28 to move the chains. That's a 7-yard run as the clock continues to run now. Coming up on 9 minutes.
See the pass distribution? None to the backs, none to the tight ends. All 10 to wide receivers. That means they're going outside with the ball with Geno. What did Geno tell us? He said this is the same exact defense we saw 1 week ago against the Miami Dolphins. And he's right, because Kevin Coyle had coached in Cincinnati with Mike Zimmer, so he's getting a very familiar look. I think it's lending to his success.
2nd and 3. This is Johnson again. Close to that first down for the Jets. He picks up 3, tackled by Greenway, and it is enough to move the chains. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Jets.
Here we talk about getting a look at the defense. Geno was very clear when we spoke with him last night. Said he wasn't offended by the fact that they only allowed him to attempt 13 passes last week. He said each week the coaches address, they tell us what they expect from us. He felt like he would have an opportunity to prove himself here today, and right now he's doing a good job of it.
Inside the 20, still going. All the way down to the 12-yard line. Jasper Brinkley, the 6th-year linebacker, finally able to get to him, but not before Ivory picks up 16 and a first down.
He's going to come around, and watch when he gets to the second level. To me, the best running backs makes defenders miss in space. Watch Harrison Smith, 22. Can't get him down. And Harrison Smith is a really good safety in the National Football League. But Chris Ivory is able to make quality defensive backs miss in space.
Longest run of the day for the Jets. 10th play of the drive, 1st and 10 from the 12. Ivory trying to find the edge inside the 10 and forced out inside the 5. What a run by Ivory. Blanton, the safety, bangs him out. What did Mike Zimmer tell us yesterday? This kid, Chris Ivory, runs mad. And that's what we've seen these last couple of plays.
He also told us that his defense is not doing a good job of tackling. Look, they can't get him on the ground. He's made defenders miss on 2 consecutive plays. And so this is the area that concerned Mike Zimmer the most about his defense. Last week they gave up 170-plus yards rushing to the Carolina Panthers. And right now, the Jets are getting it cranked up, mixing it up, run and pass to move the ball on this drive.
Have to be impressed with Geno Smith marching him down the field. 11th play of the drive. Football comes loose. Who has it? Minnesota does.
Captain Munnerlyn, 24, looked like he was the guy to recover it. Huge play. Chris Ivory, good running, but more than anything, you have to protect the football. As he approaches the line of scrimmage, going to the goal line, ball punched out, recovered by the Vikings. Turning back the New York Jets as they're knocking on the door.
Second turnover by the Jets, a drive that appeared to be headed in for the touchdown. And Sally, what a play by Andrew Sindeo, the undrafted 4th-year safety, stripping Ivory. And Minnesota takes the football back.
Yes, he's knocking on the door inside of the 5-yard line. Wow.
Jets had an 11-play drive that had covered 76 yards. You won't see a better defensive play than this, as Ivory unable to cover up the football.
Yeah, he's got to be able to protect the football there. See, it's in one hand. You go into traffic in the National Football League, defenders are good enough to not only tackle you, but strip the ball simultaneously, and that's what Sindeo does. You can see much to the dismay of the quarterback, Geno Smith.
Ivory looks so impressive on that drive. 2nd and 9, Bridgewater, they give to Asiata. Across the 5. As he picks up about 3 yards. And Sally, that's really the kind of season it's been for the Jets. So much frustration, calamitous from so many directions.
But those are the things you see. Some of the unseen things is the way you come back from failure. And Rex Ryan talks about it, and all the players talk about it. The ability to overcome moments, disappointing moments like that. You can't allow it to crescendo into something that's much worse as the game goes on.
Play clock down to 1. This is 3rd and 6. Bridgewater, quick strike over the middle. Johnson on the crossing route. Crosses the 15. First down through the air. Johnson, who fumbled what would have been a 2nd touchdown reception earlier. 7 yards for a Vikings first down.
See, he wins at the line of scrimmage. Phillip Adams can't prevent him from getting across his face on the quick slant. And you got to give Teddy Bridgewater a lot of credit. He knows where to go with the ball, and he's getting it out quickly with great accuracy, something that's been demanded of him by the coordinator, Norv Turner.
Joe Banya, the 2nd-year running back out of Texas, El Paso, onto the field for the first time. 1st and 10 from the 17.
Look at Bridgewater. Bridgewater working the play at the line of scrimmage.
On the near side for Johnson is incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Tomorrow on CBS, fast cars, a star basketball player, military school cadets, and a serial killer have something in common. Find out what on a mysterious new episode of NCIS Los Angeles. Tomorrow, 10/9 Central, only CBS. First incompletion by Bridgewater today. 7 of 8, buck 10, and the touchdown. As he is faced with a 2nd and 10 from the 17.
Well, they said he's become more vocal.
Here's Banyard, only his 8th carry of the season, crosses the 25, takes on a hard hit there after a strong run of 9 yards. So here's Charles Johnson, Sally, making his 3rd straight start, a guy who has come out of nowhere. Cleveland had him stashed on their practice squad last year, became familiar with Norv Turner, former 7th-round pick of the Packers, and this kid has overtaken Cordero Patterson, who was supposed to be a breakout guy in year 2.
Yeah, Johnson began training camp with the Cleveland Browns. Was one of their final cuts. Norv Turner plucked him up, and now He's inserted into the starting lineup and paying huge dividends here today.
Third and short, Asiata trying to pick up that tough yard for the first down. No signal yet. I don't think he got there. And it will be fourth down with the clock continuing to run at 4:29.
Watch David Harris. Watch number 52 come up and stuff this run play. Look at that. Getting underneath the lineman, Johnson, still able to stuff it. And he is one of the better inside linebackers. I love this front seven on this defense for the New York Jets. They're not far. I know the win-loss record looks one way, but there are some areas of deficiency on the roster, but not in that front seven between the defensive linemen and the linebackers.
Now, Harris has been so steady for this team. Will be a free agent at season's end. Speculation about his Jets' future. This is Curley backpedaling, fielding from inside the 25, runs it out of bounds. And that's where Geno Smith will have it. 51-yard punt, 13 on the return. 21-12 Vikings. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report will send you to the guys in New York. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. All the latest scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football coming up on NFL Network. All next on the Verizon halftime report. Chris Johnson bounces to the outside. Nice run on first down. Blanton forces him out of bounds. You knew Percy Harvin Sally would be motivated coming back to where his career all began, and we have seen him do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, whether it's returning kicks or catching the ball down the field, he knows how to attack the football. He knows how to make plays once you get the ball in his hands. And if I'm Marty Morningwig, if I'm the special teams coach, I'm going to give him plenty of work today against his former team.
22nd overall pick back in 09 of the Vikings. As a rookie alongside Brett Favre. And what a first half he has had. Johnson picks up a couple, tackled by Brinkley. Certainly the most impactful game that Favre has had in weeks since that big one he had in Kansas City back in week 9.
What you love about him, and I think it was a good fit for the Jets, is he knows the offense. Played in this offense when he was with the Vikings under Darrell Bevell. Played in this offense when he was in Seattle.
Johnson making Powell takes a direct snap. This is Harvey finding the edge, has the first down and more. Morningwig dusting off some of these plays, and a little bit more creative, Sally, than what we saw last week. Tackled by Smith, 4 yards for the first down.
Coming around from the right side. Powell just pitches it over to Harvin. Harvin normally can break these kind of tackles. He's not your normal receiver. He can play running back, he can play receiver, but he's going to run hard and force you to make the secure tackle in space.
11 first downs for a Jet offense that has had all kinds of issues this season. First and 10 pass, incomplete.
All right, this
Hodges leveling Cumberland. It'll be 2nd and 10, and boy, you feel that a little bit more on a day like today with temperatures below freezing.
Hodges is making plays. Remember, he's in the lineup replacing the first-round pick Anthony Barr. He's already made his presence felt. First pass of the game, had the pick 6, and now defending the pass down the field. So he's good in space, shows you he can defend the passing game, and he's been really good in and around the line of scrimmage.
Draw play, this is Ivory. Inside Vikings territory, down to the 49, maybe 48. 5-yard on the run as Hodges makes the tackle. That takes us to the 2-minute warning. Jets down 9. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Another reminder, the Verizon halftime report coming up next. Guys standing by in New York. JB and the fellas take you around the league, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on the Verizon halftime report next. 2 minutes left. Jets with all 3 timeouts. Critical 3rd and 5 from just inside the Minnesota 49. Jets 4 of 6 on 3rd downs today. Smith from the gun takes a shot over the middle. It's incomplete. Curley asking for a flag. There is one thrown on the near side of the field. Munnerlyn on the coverage.
There was contact beyond 5 yards, and I think it was initiated by the defender.
2 penalty markers on the field. 1 near side, 1 far sideline. Our referee today, if you've just joined us, is Jerome Boger.
There are 2 fouls on the play. both against the defense. Holding. Defense, number 29, that penalty is declined. Pass interference, defense, number 24. Spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
So the call against Mutterlin is the one that Rex Ryan will accept.
Right in the slot against Curley, right here. See at the top of the route, see him grab the jersey? And this is the point of emphasis that we heard so much about in training camp, preseason, and officials were all over it as Mutterlin did grab cloth and did impede the progress of Curley to be able to make a catch on the ball.
Turns out to be a 14-yard penalty. Sets up a 1st and 10 for the Jets from the 34. Geno Smith, 8 of 11, buck 43, a touchdown and a pick. What a play by Smith! Escaping what would have been a sack, picks up 7. Appeared to be headed down. Tom Johnson, Sally, had him wrapped up, and somehow Smith gets away from him.
Oh, he's doing a really good job right now. Under 2 minutes, moving the offense. He is in complete control right now.
2nd and 3, draw play, Johnson. Able to get to the 25. Sally, what is Mourning we're trying to do here attacking this defense with all 3 timeouts?
I think he has an advantage, particularly on the outside with Curley. We've seen Percy Harvin be able to shake loose. I think they're winning the one-on-one matchup advantages, but their ability to run the ball has afforded them to have the one-on-one matchup. As long as they can protect Geno, he appears to be in good rhythm, making good decisions with the football.
8th play of the drive. This is Ivory, who had the fumble earlier on a drive that appeared to be going in for a touchdown. 6 yards and a 1st down run for Ivory, as Rex Ryan will burn his first timeout. Jets down 9 on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at kbb.com.
Little Sunday afternoon pickup football. Some pretty good quarterbacking.
Well, he just threw a pick.
Well, the first 2 were good. 1st and 10, 53 seconds left. Smith hit on the release, just barely able to get rid of the football. Griffin was there. Crowd wants the penalty. Geno within the tackle box, of course, at that point.
Wow. Everson Griffin beating Brickishaw Ferguson. Now, remember, he's in the pocket. He's got to get the ball at least back to the line of scrimmage for that to not be intentional grounding. Now we're saying that there is a flag down. He was in the tackle box, so you can't just spike the ball there.
The Vikings have just told us that Sharif Floyd is questionable to return a knee injury that he aggravated last week.
For the player being ineligibly downfield. 2nd down.
There was a running back in the area, but they're saying the flag is going to be thrown in ineligible man downfield. One of the offensive linemen had took off downfield on that intended screen play. It took off prematurely.
Well, the turnovers aside, almost everything Morningweg has dialed up has worked for the Jets. What does he elect to do here on the 10th play of the drive, 2nd and 10 from the 19? Jets with 2 timeouts left, 50 seconds in the 2nd play. Smith has time over the middle, bumps it off to Ivory. Wrapped up at the 15-yard line by Brinkley. They pick up 4. Jets will burn their 2nd timeout. Takes us down to the 42nd mark on CBS. Pivotal 3rd and 6th play. Sally, what do you look for here?
Well, because they've run the ball so well, they're getting a lot of one-on-one opportunities. Now this I formation, they're either going to pound the run game or go play action, take a shot outside to one of the receivers.
Geno's going to throw it, or at least attempt to. Escapes one man and finally dragged down from the back. It's Everson Griffin.
Well, we said they're getting a lot of one-on-one looks. More than anything, they've got to protect, and they couldn't protect from Everson Griffin. Now, look, he's going to look everywhere. He wanted to come out here down at the bottom of the screen to Eric Decker. So there's your play action. protection doesn't hold up, but see, he wanted to come down to his left. He's forced to eat it and then try to run for it. The protection has to be able to hold up against these one-on-one looks that Geno Smith is getting. Doing a really good job of reading the defense that we saw on this drive. Twice he's been hit by Everson Griffin.
Mike Zimmer is going to burn his first time out as Griffin now able to build on his career-high 12th sack of the season. Able to get Geno Smith right behind the line of scrimmage. Here's Nick Folk, hit from 36 yards earlier. Jets actually worked out free agent kicker Andrew Fernie this week after Folk was complaining of that hip injury in the Monday night game against Miami. Folk from 33 yards out. Pardon the snapper. Folk barely able to get the kick off, and it is good. So the Jets cut it to 6. Rex Ryan looking on, 17 seconds left. Solly, you look at Geno Smith's numbers, 9 of 13. We asked how he would respond after throwing the pick 6 on the very first play from scrimmage. How impressed have you been with Geno?
Oh, he's shaking it off. He really has. He shook it off, and now he's starting to make plays. And what's happening is he's doing a better job of reading the defense. You can tell the game is slowing down. He knows where he wants to go with the football. Now the Jets offensive line have to do a better job of protecting him. When he's had the protection, the wide receivers have shown they can get open against man coverage against these corners. And so Geno's doing a good job. I think the offensive line got to do a better job of providing protection. And Marty Mornhinweg is giving him a running game. We've got a good balanced attack today on offense from the New York Jets.
Well, the Jets staring down the barrel of a 4th consecutive season with no playoffs, double-digit losses for the 2nd time in 3 years. But for Geno Smith, so much still to play for. So this front office and staff evaluate where he is after 3 weeks of watching Michael Vick on the Jets sideline. The rolling kick by Folk. Vikings cross the 40. Jets are going to give the Vikings, Sally, pretty good field position. They do have 2 timeouts left. 12 seconds remaining.
You know what that means, right? They're afraid to kick it to Percy Harvin. They'd rather give him the field position there as opposed to kick it deep to Percy. Not so sure I agree with that.
Here comes Bridgewater back on the field. 2 timeouts left. Bridgewater so far 7 of 8, buck 10 and the touchdown. 56-yard strike to Charles Johnson. They're going to line up Bridgewater from the gun here. He's going to take 1 shot. With 17, they get 12 seconds left. With a short pass, Banyan underneath inside Jet territory ahead to the 47. First catch by Banyan today, picks up a dozen. And they will stop the clock here as they move the chains. 3 seconds left. And now Minnesota will burn their 2nd timeout. Coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, is there a new way to treat cancer? A revolutionary doctor thinks so. Here are his plans, only on 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. Spiro Ditas, Solomon Wilcots, our entire CBS crew. Vikings in front of the Jets, 21-15, 58-year-old Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer. Those Vikings still mathematically alive for a postseason spot at 5-7. Trying to win back-to-back games for only the 2nd time this season. They did it back in weeks 8 and 9. Road win at Tampa, and then a home win here against the Redskins.
What you love about Mike Zimmer's team is they're always competing, always contesting, even with 4 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Bridgewater trying to draw the Jets offside. 1st and 10. This should do it for the half. Bridgewater's going to take a shot. Throw it end zone. And it is picked. Darren Walls with the interception. His 2nd of the season. Bridgewater just trying to make something happen. Vikings, keep in mind, will have the football to start the 2nd half.
Here's another look at it. 3 men in the area. Walls come down with it. Jets had it well defended.
End of the first half, Vikings leading the Jets 21-15. The Verizon halftime report coming up next. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Fun first half to watch here at Minneapolis. 21-15, Vikings leading the Jets by 6. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcox with you here. NFL on CBS continuing. Geno Smith able to recover through the pick 6 on the first play from scrimmage. How does Geno and the Jets come back and win this game?
Well, I think they've got to stick with the running game because they moved the ball very well. The 2 turnovers in the first half for the Jets have been costly. They've proven that they can move it by running the football, and Geno's looked really good going outside to his receivers. Now, the defense is going to have to step up and start making plays because Teddy Bridgewater has played well, but if you're Geno Smith, keep the train on the tracks. Don't try to operate outside the offense. Get the ball to your open receivers.
Time now to take a look at the Bose game changer. All kinds of fireworks. Geno Smith on the very first play from scrimmage. Pick 6. Gerald Hodges making a start for the injured Anthony Barr. And that is how the party got started here in Minneapolis. First half stats. Sally, how impressed were you with what the Jets did offensively?
No, I was very impressed with the fact that they had balance. Their first 15 plays on offense, they come in with them scripted, and they were really true to form. They had, 8 run plays, 7 pass plays. They were really good in terms of just maintaining balance, keeping this defense really from coming after their quarterback, Geno Smith. And so if you're Rex Ryan, you're going to continue to pound the run game, get the one-on-one opportunities. And what about Percy Harvin? He's been phenomenal in the early going of today's game.
Harvin, 3 catches, 97 yards, had a long touchdown reception from Smith, 35 yards out. And that's where we stand as we start the third quarter here at TCF Bank Stadium on the campus of the University of Minnesota. This is Cordero Patterson. Across the 25. Jets say they have the football. 22 yards on a return. And now they say Jets football. Every turnover subject to automatic review. You see TJ Graham holding the football for the Jets.
Recovered by the defense. First down, New York.
Wow. That ball is laying on the carpet for quite some time. Watch once Patterson's hit. See, ball is out, and he's not on the ground. So that's going to be fumble. The ball was loose, even though it was sort of cupped in his elbow. But you see how long the ball was there. Okay, see, the ball starts to come out prior to him hitting the ground. Even though it wasn't completely out, you could tell it was on its way out. And that's why, even after they take a look at it, I still think they're going to uphold the call on the field. And it was ruled a fumble, and you can see the ball was loose. It was moving. We'll wait and see when we come back.
A fumble by Cordero Patterson on the opening kick of the second half, and now the call from Boger.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands as a fumble. First down, New York.
All right, let's bring in our officiating expert from New York, Mike Carey. Mike, take us through that last play.
Well, guys, this is a 2-part review. The ruling is that if there's a fumble, there has to be a clear recovery. Watch the football right when the ball is coming, spins out of his hands, but it's really a subjective answer of was it loose or was it steady? And so that's why the ruling on the field stands in this situation.
All right, Mike, thanks. What a play by Bilal Powell, the backup running back for the Jets, and Trevor Riley, the 2 men who converged on the tackle as they keep it on the ground with Chris Ivory. So turnover, Sally, on consecutive plays for the Vikings. Keep in mind the Bridgewater pick, last play of the first half, and now the turnover by Patterson.
Yeah, now let's see if the Jets can capitalize, because the Vikings were able to take advantage of miscues and turnovers by the Jets in the early going of the game. They've got to be able to make up for it with this great field position.
This is second and short, first down and more. Ivory bounces outside, still going like a battering ram down to the 5-yard line. That is a mean run from Chris Ivory, the 50-year runner. 14 yards. bulldozing Munnerlyn and Smith. First down and more.
Take a look off the right side. Willie Colon, 66, doing a really good job. He gets skinny in the hole, and then the speed and power to accelerate and finish off the run in and around the goal line.
But when Ivory gets going downhill, he is a tough man to bring to the turf. Over 70 yards on the ground. Ivory taking on seemingly that entire front as they have him going backwards. And you saw that last graphic a moment ago. The Jets have had major issues, of course, overall offensively, but specifically, Sally, scoring touchdowns in the third quarter of games this season.
Yeah, they've got to be able to power it. It's really about the run game for Rex Ryan's group when they get inside that 5-yard line. Could have had a touchdown earlier, but Chris Ivory fumbled down inside the 5-yard line. And so if you're Geno, if you're going to throw it, remember, things happen faster down inside the red zone.
Decker in motion, second and goal. Smith tucks it away. Forward progress took him to the 4-yard line, and now a critical call to make for Marty Mornhinweg as Rex Ryan looks on. What do you do here if you're the Jets offensive coordinator?
Now remember, the last 2 plays were run plays. To me, I think you've got to give them a run look and then be able to isolate one-on-one on the outside, whether it's with Decker or whether it's with Percy Harvin or with Curley. Someone has to win outside against one-on-one coverage.
Decker split out, bottom of your picture. On third and goal. Jets have been very good on third down today. 5 of 8. Smith has time, throws one zone incomplete. Off the hands of the tight end, Cumberland. Wasn't thrown perfectly by Geno, but he got the tight end on the hands. And that man breathing a sigh of relief. Patterson, the man who fumbled the kickoff.
85 is Cumberland. There he is right there. Now, the anticipation is that he was going to continue over the middle, but he stopped. See right there? That's why the ball's just a little bit outside, because the quarterback, Geno Smith, was anticipating Cumberland continuing to work away from coverage inside. That's just a miscommunication more than it is an inaccurate throw.
22-yard chip shot. Polk 2 for 2, hitting from 36, 33 earlier, and now from 22. So the Jets unable to punch it in, but they inch a little bit closer. Patterson stuck, and the Jets within 3 on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Honda, where you can get great deals during Happy Honda Days. And by FedEx One Rate, simple flat rate shipping with the reliability of FedEx.
22-yard chip shot by Nick Falk. 6 plays, 22 yards after the fumbled opening kickoff of the half by Patterson. And the Jets cut it to 3 early stages of this third quarter. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcox, our producer Vic Frank, our director Chris Fenson, rest of our CBS crew. Patterson again bobbles it for a moment, takes a vicious hit at the 13, somehow still going. Boy, that may have rung his bell. Patterson 13 yards on the return, but boy, did he pay the price.
And boy, did he. He at least held on to the ball after finally securing it right there. Takes a lick, still holds on to the football.
That was Trevor Riley, the man who combined with Powell to cause that fumble by Patterson on the opening kickoff. Sally, the lights may have gone out for him as well.
Riley's making plays on special teams, that's for sure.
First and 10 inside the 15-yard line. This is Asiata. Second straight start after the Vikings had to shut down their running back Jerick McKinnon, placed him on injured reserve this week due to a back injury. Mike Zimmer making some tough decisions as this season nears its end. 4-yard run for Asiata.
Yeah, but some physical plays are being made right now by the New York Jets. They're making it a physical game. You can see the yardage output on offense. And right now, Teddy's got to get it going for the Minnesota Vikings offense.
Bridgewater, a very efficient first half. Here he is, play action, 2nd and 6. Pocket collapses, Bridgewater Trying to pick up some positive yardage. Quentin Copeland's making the start today up front for the injured Mo Wilkerson. Bridgewater picks up a yard, and it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up.
What did Mike Zimmer tell us about his young quarterback? He said, I watch Teddy Bridgewater every day in practice, and I just smile. He said, because he has tremendous work habits, and he said, every day in practice, every single pass, just about every one is complete. He said, the ball rarely hits the ground. Just about every day, only maybe 2 incompletions throughout a single practice. He said it's going to yield huge dividends as we move forward and he continues to develop.
Jets showing blitz, 3rd and 5, here they come. Bridgewater's going to tuck it away. Needed to get to the 24. Is short, and a late marker comes flying in. Demario Davis on the tackle. Bridgewater a yard short.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 56. Blow to the head of a sliding quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Remember, the officials rule on the act, not the aftermath. You may say, well, he didn't hit him that hard. But the quarterback did give himself up. Once he goes into a slide, you can't lead and make any contact with the helmet. Okay, and Z leads with his helmet, does Demario Davis. And once the quarterback gives himself up, you just got to let it go. You can touch him with your hands, but you can't lead with your helmet to try to tackle him.
You know, the contact was slight, but with Bridgewater so vulnerable, that's a dangerous play. You saw how hard he hit that frigid turf. 1st and 10 after the penalty. Asiata barely getting back to the line of scrimmage, loses a couple. David Harris leading the charge for the Jet defense. Sally, just to get back to Bridgewater, you know, we were at their facility a couple of days ago, and the vibes in that building are that this is their guy. There's no doubt. You listen to Mike Zimmer talk about Bridgewater, and this is a guy in Zimmer who's been around 20 years in the NFL.
That's right.
Has coached against some of the great quarterbacks. He speaks with absolute conviction that he thinks Bridgewater will be great.
Yeah, Zimmer said when he was at Weber State, he would go to BYU and watch Steve Young in practice when he was in college there. He said the ball rarely hit the ground. Every pass was complete in practice. He said it's one of the good signs that a young quarterback is developing and will begin to make plays on Sunday in football games.
Ellison, the tight end in motion. Play action, 2nd and 13. But Bridgewater barely able to get rid of the football with Sheldon Richardson, who had the safety early on. Just barely missing out on his 2nd sack.
Here's Richardson here in the face of the quarterback. He talked about it when we met with him last night. Look at him, swim move, coming inside, pushing the pocket. You get pressure in the face of the quarterback, really nowhere to go. See, Bridgewater wants to climb the pocket and step up, but not with Richardson there. Last year's defensive rookie of the year making his presence known in that backfield of the Vikings.
We had a chance to sit down with Richardson, said he expected Vikings to go his way today with Wilkerson out their 2nd straight game. What a game Richardson has had so far. 3rd and long. Bridgewater. Pressure coming from every direction. They dump him for another sack. 2nd time they've gotten to him today. Antonio Allen. There is a penalty marker on the field. Allen, who had just limped off on the last Jet kickoff a moment ago.
Prior to the quarterback being sacked, holding, defense, number 20. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow.
And that is Kyle Wilson.
Killing Rex Ryan's defense right now. There's just 2 consecutive 3rd down plays where they made the play to get off the field. And they're going to force a punt, but no. This is watching the slot, right? There's Kyle Wilson right there, grabbing hold of the receiver. That's number 15, Greg Jennings, and now it's a new set of downs for the Vikings.
That's the 3rd defensive holding today against the Jet defense. Asiata able to get to the 45-yard line. Sally, we mentioned all the issues that the Jets have had with their secondary. Kyle Wilson, a kid who they took 29th overall in 2010. If there was ever a year that the Jets needed Wilson to step up and be a player, this was it. And he's just disappointed. There's no way around it. Injured Viking is Charlie Johnson, their 8th-year guard, as the trainers come onto the field. Looks like Charlie Johnson, the Vikings starting guard, got rolled up on. They will cart him into the locker room. We'll get an update as quickly as we can. Former Jet Vladimir Dukas will slide over from the right guard to the left. Jets took him in the second round back in 2010. This is 2nd and 5. Asiata, the third-year runner, brought down just short of the 50 after a pickup of 4. Another look at the injury to Johnson.
Yeah, let's take a look. See there. Is he going to fall right on the back right there?
Boy.
Right on that right ankle. That's where the big offensive linemen are most vulnerable.
Sally, you're 300-plus pounds and you plant a leg and have someone fall on you like that. That is just so dangerous. And you hope for the best for Johnson. 3rd and short from inside the 49. Little pitch play. Seattle cuts back. 1st down and more. Inside Jet territory. Lunges ahead to the 46. 5 yards. And a Vikings 1st down.
Yeah, well, that was a good-looking play. Pitch to Asiata. But watch him. There was a defender there, and watch him just stick that foot in the ground and get vertical. See him tack the line of scrimmage? You can see Dewan Landry, 26, out there. He can't make the tackle in space. See, he's able to come up, and he gets vertical. It was just good decision in terms of him attacking the line of scrimmage to pick up the 1st down.
Asiata making his 6th start of the season. He ventured the injury to McKinnon.
Unexpressed.
1st and 10. Asiata keeping the pile moving. Close to the Jet 40. Asiata, undrafted out of Utah. Vikings stashed him on their practice squad. His first significant moment came late last season, week 15 against Philly. Adrian Peterson, Toby Gerhart both injured. He scored 3 touchdowns in that game. And he's actually matched that, Sally, 2 other times. He's had 3 games in 1+ seasons where he's rushed for 3+ touchdowns.
All right, you can see he's been productive, 3.3 yards per carry average, but the 6 rushing touchdowns, that's what's most critical.
Play action from Bridgewater, 2nd and 4, swings it near side, it's caught. Jennings out of bounds, shoved by Walls, 17 yards and another 1st down.
You know, this cold weather is nothing to Greg Jennings. Played in Green Bay, told him Brett Favre kind of helped him understand how you make plays in cold weather games like that. 2 feet down after stabbing that ball. Great handball catcher is Greg Jennings. That right foot, that looks a little close now. They may want to take a look at that one.
No signal yet.
Wow.
And now it looks like the challenge flag has been thrown out by Rex Ryan.
There it is. Worth looking at if you're the Jets.
New York is challenged in the middle of the field of a completed catch inbound.
Was the right foot of Jennings inbound. Stay with us.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chase Freedom. Get your cash back and activate bonus cash back today. And by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
Call on the field, a completed reception by
After
Jennings.
reviewing the play, the rule on the field will stand as a completed catch inbound. 1st down, Minnesota.
Jets will be charged a timeout as we take another look at the right foot of Jennings.
Yeah, I'm not so sure we've got clear visible evidence that he's in or out of bounds, to be honest with you, but they did call it a catch on the field, and so it's just, you know, evidence. Let's see what Mike Carey thinks. Mike, what did you see there?
Yeah, what I saw was that foot hitting right next to the sideline, but you did not see a divot come out of the white. So stands is at least the call there. Great call on the field.
All right, Mike Carey, our officiating expert from New York. Jerome Boger, our referee today. 1st and 10, it counts as a 17-yard pass play between Bridgewater and Jennings. Asiata has been the workhorse, now approaching 50 yards as we take another look at the catch by Jennings.
Now, is it clear and indisputable? I'm not so sure, but you can see where the official is positioned. He's right on top of it. And I agree with Mike Carey. The fact that the official was right there was a great call on the field, real time without replay. That's just, I think, a testament to how difficult the job is for these officials and how often they get it right when it's a bang-bang play.
Couple of injury updates. Vikings guard Charlie Johnson, lowered leg. They're saying questionable. And meantime for the Jets, Trevor Riley, a head injury, also questionable to return. 2nd and 9. Bridgewater has time, finds Asiata, who has been their workhorse almost exclusively here in the third quarter. Pick up only a yard, tackled by Kyle Wilson. It'll be 3rd and 8.
And as you look at Teddy Bridgewater go to work here, Spiro, I think it was Greg Jennings who told us, he said, you know, there are a lot of people in the ears of this young quarterback, but even Teddy said that Greg Jennings has become a mentor to him. He said the one thing that's resonated with him in terms of what Greg Jennings has told him, he said, if you see it, it's too late. He said, you've got to feel it. If you wait for it to materialize before your eyes, it's probably going to be too late and the pass is going to be intercepted.
Bridgewater has orchestrated a long drive, 13th play here. Bridgewater throwing off balance, back foot. Not taking a chance. Jennings, the closest target in the vicinity. Walls on the coverage. Mike Zimmer will send out his field goal unit.
And I'm sure Rex Ryan is saying, how many times do we have to stop him? They've given him a number of chances on this drive, but as you can see, good pressure from the defense on Teddy Bridgewater, forcing him to throw it away. But most of this drive by the Vikings offense has been aided by way of penalties on the Jets defense.
Here's Blair Walsh, 39 yards. One of the top distance kickers over the last couple of years, and that is no good. He missed it. So the Jets defense getting off the field, and they stay within striking distance in a 3-point game on CBS. Week 14 continues later today on Fox. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC. Tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Atlanta, hard to believe, right at the top of the NFC South. And a big one for them to close out Week 14. Chris Johnson, tackled by Chad Greenway. Johnson, 8 rushes on the day for just under 30 yards. Jets certainly not as prolific solidly with the ground game as they were last week, but Ivory's had a big day, approaching 70 yards. And this offense has looked, boy, very good. Their best performance in a long, long time.
No, they're able to score on possessions. And now, if you're Geno Smith, you want to have some of these possessions in with the score by taking it into the end zone and not settling for field goals.
2nd and 11. Smith keeps it underneath to Harvin, the former Viking. Harvin today now over 100 yards receiving. His 4th reception, had the 35-yard touchdown catch earlier.
You said it, they scored on 4 of their last 5 possessions, but on those 4 red zone possessions, they've had to settle for 3 field goals. They fumbled once on one of those red zone possessions. So as good as the offense has been in terms of their ability to move it, now they have to be able to capitalize and finish off some of these drives by punching it in.
Critical 3rd and 2. Powell the lone setback. Bunch formation set near side. Play clock down to 2. Geno's going to turn, burn a timeout. That'll be the 2nd for the Jets. They lost one on the challenge earlier. So 3:41 to play. Jets down 3. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, for as well as the Jets offense has played for the most part, 2nd straight week solid that they have had critical mistakes. The interception. Bad snap by Mangold. One of the reasons why they weren't able to get any closer. Right now, down 3 points.
Well, some of those mistakes have led to points for the opposing team as well. They've got to be able to cut that out here late in the game.
3rd and 2 from the 37. Smith underneath. Caught by Harvin. Forward momentum took him to the 40, and that is enough. Make it 45 for a Jet first down.
Percy Harvin has been working over these defensive backs for the Minnesota Vikings all day. He is going to get open, particularly if there's one-on-one man-to-man coverage. I think it just remains to be seen. Can this offensive line hold up and protect Geno Smith from a defensive front that's really known to get pressure on the opposing quarterback? If you're Geno Smith, the ball's got to come out quickly and accurately.
Harvin's best game as a Jet was his 2nd game with New York. Week 9 in Kansas City, 129 yards receiving. This is Chris Johnson. Picks up maybe a yard. Harvin today, 5 catches, 115 yards. and the long touchdown.
Harvin is one tough cookie. He's not a big guy, but he's hard to tackle. He's got that rare combination of speed and quickness combined with toughness. If you're Marty Morningwig, you're going to use that to your advantage in the offense.
2nd and 8. Keep in mind the Jets are down to their final timeout. Lost one on the challenge by Rex Ryan. And had to burn one a moment ago. Harvin lines up in the slot towards the top of your screen. This is 2nd and 8. Smith feeling the pocket collapse, spinning away. He eludes another set, gets it off to Decker. Decker cuts back, still gone. Down to the 25-yard line on a catch and run by the former Golden Gopher. 29 yards, first down Jets. Magical play by Smith.
Well, I am impressed with Geno Smith. Look, he feels Everson Griffin coming around the back end. And see, watch him. I think he starts to panic a little soon, but then he recovers. He escapes, get out of the pocket, vision down the field, dumps it off to Decker, who, as you said, knows every inch of this stadium where he played collegiately for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And boy, he's making plays like he did in college here.
Misdirection play. Johnson inching closer to the 20. As we go back to New York in an update, here's JB.
Heads up Cleveland D.
And talk about making plays. How about the second touchdown of the day for the defense? This one, Justin Gilbert, the first-round pick, takes the interception of Andrew Luck, 23 yards for the return. The Cleveland Browns lead 21-10 as Andrew Luck struggling against this defense.
Back to Spiro Ditas.
All right, guys, all the talk this week in Cleveland about Mike Pettine's decision to stick with the veteran Hoyer, so far paying off. Smith keeps it underneath again on 2nd and 7 to Johnson. They head inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They pick up 8. Another Jet first down. Sally, how impressed have you been with what we've seen from Geno Smith?
Very impressed. And even you could see moments when he was clearly under pressure, when he was harassed and hurried. He was able to maintain some poise, didn't turn it over, wasn't careless with the football. Anytime you can see a quarterback keeping that vision down the field and finding receivers while under pressure, that's when you're showing signs of development.
Jets, one of the worst offenses in the league in terms of the percentage of 3 and outs. Haven't had many today. Smith looked like a box play, trying to dance his way to the line of scrimmage. Tom Johnson able to bring him down. No gain as that takes us to the end of the quarter.
Yeah, that's the end of the third quarter with the score 21-18. We'll return to Minneapolis after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Minneapolis. 21-18 Vikings in front of the Jets. Spiro Ditas, Solomon Wilcots, rest of our CBS crew. TCF Bank Stadium on the campus of the University of Minnesota. Geno Smith has the Jets driving again, 2nd and 10. Ninth play of the drive. Smith, quick strike, Decker. Brought down right after the catch. Just short of the 5. Xavier Rhodes, one of their corners. 8 yards through the air. Solid decision time here on 3rd and 2.
Hey, Eric Decker, he says that they're getting close on offense. And this is the kind of plays you want to see happening for this offense. Now, he's got to keep his head up, maybe try to shake that tackle. Kind of kept his head down and made it an easy tackle for Xavier Rhodes.
Third and 2. Smith's pass deflected high in the air and nearly intercepted. Somehow Griffin unable to corral it.
Broken up on
it
the
was
line of
tipped
scrimmage.
by Robinson, and Griffin can't believe it.
How does Griffin not make the catch here? He batted it up. It was tipped, as you said. Take a look here. There it is by Robinson. And then this one just falls right in his lap, and he can't haul it in. Maybe he's going to run for a touchdown. Look at that.
And the difference there, instead of maintaining their 3-point lead, now the Jets have a chance to tie on another chip shot from Folk. He's hit on 3 of 3 today. Low snap. And Folk puts it through from 24 yards out. The Jets back to tie it at 21. As they get awfully lucky on the deflection by Robinson. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Thursday, Larry Fitzgerald in the first place. Arizona Cardinals will square off against the Rams. The playoff chase heating up in the NFC. Thursday night football, Thursday 8 Eastern, live on NFL Network. Back-to-back losses for the Cardinals. And a Rams team that, despite their record, has had some big wins this season.
That team is dangerous. And you know why? They'll beat up your quarterback. Defensively, they're one of the toughest in the National Football League. And they can run the ball as well. If they get good play at quarterback, St. Louis could be a tough out over the next 4 weeks.
Griffin still lamenting that dropped deflection a moment ago. A couple of injury notes to pass along. Sharif Floyd, one of the Vikings' top defensive linemen, will not return. Aggravated that knee injury that he hurt last week. For the Jets, Antonio Allen, hand injury, questionable to return. Trevor Riley, who was dinged, head injury, will not return for the Jets. Cordero Patterson fumbled the kick to start the second half. It comes loose again. This one appeared to come out after contact with the ground. 28 yards, Patterson trying to make something happen. Solly, he has looked awfully shaky.
Yeah, he's going to make something happen.
Is that the ball carrier was down by contact. First down, Minnesota.
One way or another, something's happening. Yeah, he's got to hold on to the football if you want good things to happen for his team. You can see hit right there. Elbow makes contact with the ground, then the ball comes out, so the officials got it right. But right now, the Vikings got to get something going on offense. Right now, the Jets have almost twice the amount of total yards on offense here in the second half.
Patterson, who they took 29th overall in the 2013 draft, he's had an awfully disappointing season. That's the tight end, Kyle Rudolph. Patterson's future looked bright. Sally had that very stellar rookie season a year ago, but he has been overtaken by Charles Johnson, the young man out of Grand Valley State, who had a long touchdown reception earlier.
New offense with North Turner. You've got to invest the time. North Turner's offense has been known to send wide receivers and tight ends to Pro Bowls.
First catch by Rudolph a moment ago sets up a 2nd and 4. This is Ben Tate, whom they acquired off waivers from Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. His first carry of the day, 8 yards and a Vikings first down. Sally, one thing about North Turner, once you get into his doghouse, tough to find your way out as he continues to struggle.
Yeah, you can see numbers down from 1 year ago. Again, he's in a new offense. And the number of touchdowns, he has something to contribute. But remember, it was North Turner's offense in Cleveland 1 year ago that made Josh Gordon the league leader in receiving yards. And so North Turner's going to get you the football, but you got to buy in. You have to know the scheme, know where to line up, know where to go, and know how to make plays within the system.
1st and 10 after the run from Tate. The third different running back that Turner has used today. Bridgewater quick strike near side. This is James. Right at the 45, forced out after a pickup of 8. James getting busy here. His 3rd reception, over 30 yards through the air. Forced out of bounds by Phillip Adams.
Oh, this is a football team in the Minnesota Vikings. I think as their young quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, continues to develop, there's some promising things happening under their head coach, Mike Zimmer.
Tate stays on the field, draw play. Here he is again, crosses the 45, ahead close to the 48. And that is enough for a Vikings first down. Jarrett, Jet safety on the tackle.
And I like what I'm seeing, Spiro, the way that the Vikings are responding after the field goal to tie it up. At 21 apiece, they're responding. They're giving their defense some rest. They're converting on 3rd downs, and they're moving the chains with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback.
Vikings keep it on the ground again. Tate cuts back inside Jet territory. Last week, his first appearance with the Vikings. Acquired off waivers, as I mentioned, from Cleveland on November the 19th. Former 2nd-round pick, Solly of Houston, does have some baggage. Got off to a bad start with the people in Cleveland this year after they gave him the big contract. And they decided to part company. But if he can figure out this offense, what a weapon for North Turner. Double screen, far side. That is right. The 3rd-year receiver, 5 yards through the air. as they inch closer to another first down.
And, you know, Norv Turner, everywhere he's been, he's had that vertical passing attack. Remember, you know, the great Troy Aikman and those teams with Dallas and Phillip Rivers in San Diego. You can see him now incorporating, you know, quick passing game, something that's a little bit different than what he's always done. You can see he's growing, evolving, and I think tailoring the offense to the young quarterback he has in Teddy Bridgewater.
3rd and 1, Bridgewater, far side. It is caught by Rudolph for a Vikings first down. Well, he made that look easy. It wasn't. Had to turn over the shoulder and go down for the low throw from Bridgewater.
Bridgewater just slings this one. He gets it out there quick, under pressure. And as soon as he turns around, look, this ball's out right now. Really nice hands. Good catch by the big tight end, Kyle Rudolph.
Second reception of the day, both on this drive. And his 17th catch of the season. 8th play of the drive, 1st and 10 from the Jet 40. Bridgewater play action, flushed out. Ellis getting to him, deep throw near side, incomplete. Charles Johnson covered by Phillip Adams. Boy, what a catch that would have been. What a recovery by Adams.
It was a great recovery because he had him wide open. You're going to see him right here. He's going to come open. And Teddy's now, he's under pressure, so he couldn't throw it when he wanted to, as he has to scramble. See pressure in his face. Now look down the field. Johnson's open, ball hangs out, but look at that. Adams recovers after being initially beat on the double move by Charles Johnson. It's the one where he scored a touchdown. He had to wait on that one. It was the pressure that kept Bridgewater from throwing the ball initially when he was ready to launch it.
So Johnson takes a blow, 2nd and 10, flags whistle to play dead.
Before the snap, first charge timeout, Minnesota.
Norv Turner wanting to think about it. It's been a fun game to watch. We're tied at 21, early stages of the 4th. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Amazon's new Fire HD. Powerful tablet, endless entertainment. Fruit of the Loom. Start happy this holiday. And by the Dodge Brothers. 100 years later, their spirit lives on.
A look at the construction site of the new downtown stadium that they say is about 20 months away from completion here. That'll be the new home of the Minnesota Vikings. Has folks awfully excited in this town. And a very unique architectural design that we'll get to here in a moment. 9th play of the drive. Bridgewater from the gun, over the middle, incomplete. Again intended for Johnson. And Sally, that Jet secondary so maligned this season. Making some big plays here, that time Darren Walls.
Yeah, Walls was able to defend beautifully on that play, disrupting the release of Johnson. You can see the comparison between the two young quarterbacks, almost identical. Of course, both have thrown interceptions, but you can see Geno Smith's settling in. He does have greater balance. He's got, I think, a better run game to lean on today. As a young quarterback, play-action pass opportunities, but so far both quarterbacks showing very well today.
So that pick 6 by Geno, the difference. 3rd and 10. Bridgewater showing all kinds of mobility, spinning away initially and then finally tracked down by Sheldon Richardson as the Jet defense able to get off the field.
This is good movement by Teddy Bridgewater. Didn't know he was this athletic. It took Richardson making this tackle in space. That saved what would have been a huge gain for Teddy Bridgewater.
So that goes down as the 2nd sack today for Sheldon Richardson, the 2nd-year stud out of Missouri. Had the safety early on as the Vikings now will punt for only the 2nd time today. Blocked the punter out of UCLA. Fair catch signaled by the Jets, and this will take a Vikings bounce just inside the 5-yard line. Perfectly placed 38-yard punt. Geno Smith onto the field when we come back. Geno Smith and the Jets pinned deep inside their own territory. 1st and 10 from inside the 5. This is Chris Johnson doing what he does best, making the initial guy miss, getting close to the 10-yard line. Coming up tomorrow on CBS, the wait is over. Mike and Molly are back. Don't miss the season premiere tomorrow after Two Broke Girls here on CBS. One thing to keep in mind, the Jets down to their final timeout. Lost one on the challenge by Rex Ryan. Had to burn one earlier in the quarter. The last 3 possessions have resulted in field goals. 2nd and 5. Smith throwing the outfield side. He's got Decker. It's incomplete. Tight coverage by Rhodes. It'll be 3rd down coming up.
Oh, this is just really good route by Decker. Stay off the boundary, see, so you can fade away. But then he fades us a little bit too much. Is not able to haul it in. Xavier Rhodes, though, do a good job. See, he gets his head back around, able to knock the hands down and pry the ball loose from Eric Decker. Good coverage on the route.
Well, Decker, who knows every inch of this stadium, starred here for 4 years as a Golden Gopher. Unable to make the catch. Tough play. It's 3rd and 5. Smith pump fakes. Flush trap. He's going to run it. Takes a hard hit. Short of the 1st down. Josh Robinson laying the wood on Smith after a run of 2.
Geno really wanted that 1st down. Willing to sacrifice his body. He saw the 1st down marker and watched 21 Wilson come off coverage. Look at that. And laying a lick on the quarterback, Geno Smith. Quarterback doesn't get out of bounds. He didn't try to protect himself by sliding. Takes a hit.
We've only had 4 total punts in this game. 2nd by Ryan Quigley. Sherrills on the fair catch. Just a 36-yard punt and a short field for the Vikings. Geno sacrificing his body, as Sally pointed out, unable to get the 1st down.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's. And by Subway Restaurants. Subway is saying thanks this season with $2 subs.
Short field for Teddy Bridgewater. 1st round pick out of Louisville. 14 of 20 today if you've just joined us. 162 yards, a touchdown, and the pick on the Hail Mary throw to end the 1st half. This is Asiata. Short pickup on 1st down. Their last 2 possessions, Sally, a lot of yards, but no points to show for it.
Yeah, they've got to be able to manufacture some yards. Remember, 7 of the 21 points had by the Vikings today. Remember, the first 7 came off the interception returned for a touchdown by Gerald Hodges on the first offensive play of the game for the New York Jets. So the Minnesota Vikings offense have to be more productive, particularly here in the 2nd half of the game.
Clock continues to run and hit the 8-minute mark of the 4th. All tied at 21. 2nd and 11. Jets coming to the blitz. Bridgewater has his man. It's Johnson again. Run out of bounds short of the 30. Marcus Williams there for the tackle. 17 yards and a 1st down.
All right, Johnson is eating these defensive backs up for the Jets. He's making double moves. He's getting open, as you can see against Marcus Williams. It's a good throw way across the field by Teddy Bridgewater, showing you his arm strength and accuracy. Right now, Johnson having a well of a day, over 100 yards receiving.
And he's done it in only 4 receptions. And a 56-yard touchdown catch earlier. End around play. This is Jarius Wright. Still going inside the 10 and finally knocked out of bounds. Jaquan Jarrett, the safety, may have saved the touchdown. 23 yards. It'll be 1st and goal.
And then we're going to see him come around here and then watch the block by Bridgewater to seal the edge. Watch this. He picks up Babin right there. That's enough to get him started and get him to the 2nd level. Well-designed play. But look at the block by Bridgewater. It's effective. Not devastating, but certainly effective.
First trip in the red zone for the Vikings today. Asiata inches close to the 5. Tackled by Damon Harrison and Sheldon Richardson.
North Turner's offense now showing some creativity in terms of their ability to run the ball. You know, Jim talked about it. They would love to have Adrian Peterson back. Doesn't look like that may or may not happen, but to be able to have some creative ways to run the football to help your young quarterback, we just saw it on that reverse play.
Second and goal. Bridgewater's going to run it. Brought down from the back, just short of the one. Excellent recovery. Clock continues to run. It'll be third and goal as we come up on 6 minutes left.
They go empty, and that's when you get the quarterback draw. Because when you go empty, you spread out the formation. Usually no linebackers behind that defensive line. Bridgewater decided to keep it himself. Now third and goal. Let's see what they can come up with. I'm trying to get a matchup with my big tight end, Kyle Rudolph. See if we can get him matched up against a linebacker.
Rudolph at the top of your picture. Meantime, what a play a moment ago by Sheldon Richardson to save the touchdown. Third and goal. Bridgewater under pressure. Walks it to the end zone. Incomplete. Appeared to be inadvertent contact. Jarrett on the coverage of Jennings. Fans want a penalty. They don't get it. Fourth and goal.
Two things here. Maybe it's inadvertent, but certainly I think the officials, given the position, they didn't think Greg Jennings could get there. And you'll see him coming across the screen there. See right there. See, he's bumped off, and then now you think he's going to get there to that ball. I think it's questionable, but I'm sure that's the way the officials saw it.
And here's Walsh, their third-year kicker. Missed from 39 earlier. This time was good on the easy chip shot from 20 to give Minnesota a 3-point lead with 5:28 remaining.
Take a look there. Here it is. There's a contact right there. But look where the ball lands. It's out of our screen on that shot. It's a judgment call by the officials, but they were in good position to get a good feel, good read on the play.
Jets secondary today called for 3 holding penalties. That time able to dodge a bullet. Coming up next Sunday, the NFL on CBS features divisional matchups. AFC East, Dolphins, Patriots. Some of you will see the Steelers battle the Falcons or the Broncos and the Chargers in that Wild West. Check your local listings, beginning with the guys, JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer on the NFL Today. Spiro Ditas, Solomon Wilcots, rest of our crew here in Minneapolis. Producer Vic Frank, Chris Fenson, rest of the guys, Andy Friedman, Justin Haley, Gary Brown, Rusta Lynn, and Rick Skater. 24-21, Vikings. Getting that one timeout for the Jets, looming large, as Harvin is going to play it just inside his own end zone. Dances up the sideline, fumble! Out of bounds. Harvin taking a hard hit, crunched. Jets fortunate again, 21 yards on the return by Harvin.
It's a cold day. The ball is hard and slick. He's hit on that elbow. It looked like Xavier Rhodes. Actually, excuse me, it's Marcus Steele going to come in. Yeah, it was Steele.
Ball could not advance on a fumble, so they'll mark it right at the point of contact and the fumble, just outside the 20. Smith from the gun, now in 1st and 10. Slings it far side, high pass. It is incomplete. Harvin trying to make the catch in tight quarters. Rhodes on the coverage.
I like the ball placement on this throw, though, from Geno. Look, could be a little lower. Yeah, it was a little high, but certainly giving Harvin a chance to make the catch before Rhodes could close in on it.
Sally, sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the defender. That's a great play by Rhodes.
It really was. Good positioning, good close in coverage.
2nd and 10. Draw play to Ivory. Inching close to the 25, tackled by the safety, Harrison Smith. Sally, just one timeout. How does that change the strategy here with 5 minutes left?
I think you got plenty of time. I think you got to continue to work the run game if you're Marty Morningwig. because that's the soft spot. Now, you got to read the defense. If they're packed in on the line of scrimmage, then you go outside against one-on-one coverage with a single high safety look like what you have here.
Vikings showing blitz, 3rd and 6. Smith under pressure, somehow gets it out to Johnson. Johnson across the 25, close to the 30. Needed to get to the 31. Appears to be short, and he is by about a full yard. 5 yards. Pressure coming from Captain Munnerlyn.
All-out blitz. Look, Munnerlyn comes in, and then Johnson just checks loose for the catch and run. It was his job to pick up the blitzing Munnerlyn to that side. He missed them, and so then he just leaked out and figured I might as well go out for a pass and allow Geno to dump it off to me.
Well, the Jets offense was staying on for an extra beat. Morningwig and Rex apparently thought about it. As now the punt team comes on. It's too early to take that kind of risk here. With 4:29 left, play clock down. Jets barely get it off. Quickly punting. This is Sherrills. From inside the 10, gets a couple of blocks, springs him forward, runs out of bounds right at the 30, penalty flag down at the 21-yard line. 58-yard punt, 19 on the return. Forced out of bounds by Tanner Purdom as we wait the call from Boger. There are 2 flags now.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 57. 10-yard penalty. Minnesota keeps the ball. First down.
That's Adi Cole, the man penalized. So they'll mark it back from the 30-yard line. As we take another look at the penalty, you see it right there, bottom of your screen.
Absolutely.
Top of your screen.
Maybe a little acting job there. Didn't look overly egregious.
Solly, this is fun though. Tight game late. Couple of young quarterbacks. Seeing how they navigate through their final stages of this game.
Yeah, you just want to eat clock. That's the best way to do it. Running the football. Now, quick short bubble screen is equivalent to the same thing. Easy completion keeps the clock going.
Then keep in mind, Jets just 1 timeout remaining. They'll keep it on the ground. Draw play to Asiata. Over 50 yards rushing. Field position, Solomon, also huge here. You don't want to get pinned back too deep if you're Mike Zimmer and the Vikings.
That's what the penalty does. It pins you deep inside your own territory, and you've got to be able to collect some first downs, gain some room. So if you do have to punt it, the Jets aren't getting the ball right around midfield.
A little extra pushing after that play. Sheldon Richardson drawing at some of those offensive linemen for the Vikings. 2nd and 9 from the 13. Low snap to Bridgewater. He loses the sack. Shuffles out, gets to the line of scrimmage. May have lost the yard. Penalty marker thrown. Sheldon Richardson, who makes the sack. Looks like he's hurt.
Offense, number 75. Half the distance of the goal. Replay, 2nd down.
Well, that's huge. Matt Khalil, the left tackle, they're going to get him. And it puts the Vikings deeper inside their own territory.
Richardson, their young stud, is going to limp his way off the field. Jets already shorthanded without their MVP up front. Muhammad Wilkerson, 2nd straight game he's been on the shelf with the turf toe.
That's where Richardson goes down, number 91.
So they will look at Richardson on the Jet sideline. As you take another look, that's the 2nd penalty today on Khalil, and a very inopportune time here with field position so critical with 3:29 remaining.
And as much as you want the first down here in the 3rd and 9 situation, Teddy Bridgewater, more importantly, has to protect the football. You know, punting isn't the absolute worst thing, the turnover is.
Lige Douzable will come on in relief of Richardson, at least for the moment, on 3rd and 9. Bridgewater from the gun, Jets blitzing. Bridgewater's pass will fall incomplete. Demario Davis coming in untouched, forcing Bridgewater into the bad throw.
Look at Davis. He's going to creep here and come right there, unblocked. Matt Asiata reads it wrongly, doesn't pick him up. Free runner at the quarterback means the ball's got to come out. See, Asiata goes inside to get Babbitt, allowing Davis to come free.
Sally, you wondered how Asiata didn't see him. Just never even looked to his direction to the left.
But Babbitt was also coming free, and in pass protection, you're taught to protect inside out. So the most immediate threat is coming from the inside.
Left leg gets the penalty. Right, it's fumbled! And the football still loose. The Jets miraculously fall on the football. Phillip Adams, who made the very impressive defensive play earlier, falls on the football, and the Jets stay alive after the fumble by Curley.
And watch number 32, Anton Exum. He has a chance to get it right there. He overshoots it. You know, every day in practice, particularly the skill position players, you've got to spend time working on this fundamental. That right there, the ability to recover that ball wins or loses a football game.
Boy, Everson Griffin dropped an interception earlier on the deflection. Jets dodge another bullet here. Can they take advantage? Down 3 with 3:13 left. Smith on 1st and 10 finds Decker far side. Decker close to the 34, 5 yards through the air. As the Jets trying to navigate here with just 1 timeout left.
And they still have the 2-minute warning as well. But right now, you have to be judicious about when you're going to run it. It'll just eat clock. Right now, the game is going to be in the hands of Geno Smith.
2nd and 5. Draw play to Johnson. Gets close to the 40. Appears to be right at the 1st down marker. Gerald Hodges, who had the early pick 6 on the tackle, he appears to be just short. Clock continues to run. Jets will try to get one more play off here, at least one more before the 2-minute warning. With those precious seconds ticking away. 3rd and 1. Johnson needed to get to the 39. And now the officials signal 1st down Jets. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Jets down 3, looking for a road win in frigid Minneapolis. You're watching the NFL on CBS. You see the target line for Nick Folk, playing today with that hip flexor injury. 4 for 4 on kicks today. 1st and 10 from just outside the 40. Just 1 timeout remaining for the Jets. Smith airs it out near side. That's Harvin for the catch. Right at the 50. Sally, this was a drive that started with 3:13 remaining. A lot of time came off the clock before that last Jet play.
Yeah, particularly with those first 2 plays you talked about. They squandered a minute, 13 seconds. Thought they could have went into their hurry-up a little sooner, even before the 2-minute warning.
Clock continues to run. 94 seconds left. 2nd and 1. Smith under pressure. Griffin unable to get him down. Smith escapes again. 1st down and 11. Flacco all the way down to the 31-yard line. Everson Griffin had him all to himself, and somehow Smith burns him for 18.
Working against DeBrickashaw Ferguson. See, he wasn't able to get a clean hit on the quarterback because DeBrickashaw Ferguson didn't give up on the play.
Well, Griffin missed on a deflected pick earlier. And what would have been an enormous sack, it's Powell on a nifty little 1st down run. Clock continues to run. 50 seconds, 1 timeout left.
That play wasn't as easy for Griffin to make with Brickashaw Ferguson still draped on him. Right now, if you're Geno, you've got to start making some completions.
Well within the range of Folk. This is 2nd and 4. Geno's going to take a shot at the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for T.J. Graham. Geno upset with himself, or perhaps with Graham.
He's
3rd and 4.
You can see he's vocal with Graham. Graham's got to stay outside. He's stopped on the play, Sparrow, and tried to work back underneath. Had he continued to escape outside, see, watch him stop and try to get underneath coverage right there. See, had he stayed outside, continued vertically, could have had himself a touchdown, and that's what Geno is talking about. Geno right now has a good feel for what he wants to do with the football.
Same type of throw earlier on the touchdown pass to Harvard. 3rd and 4. Smith throwing inside the 10, incomplete. Intended for Curley. So 28 seconds left. It was Xavier Rhodes on the coverage. And now Nick Folk on for a potential game-tying field goal.
Watch the vision. He's going to go to Curley. He's going to try to work back to the center of the field as he rolls out. Watch Curley right there. Had him for a second, but look at the recovery by Rhodes to knock the ball down.
Folk, who has had some big kicks for the Jets, 7 career game winners. This one to tie from 44. He's 4 for 4 today. Spot hold is down, and Folk ties it with 23 seconds left. And keep in mind, Folk was a question mark all week with that hip injury. 5 for 5, ties his career high in makes.
Making good on a really good drive by Geno Smith in the New York Jets offense to set Folk up for the game-tying field goal. Can't say enough about what we've seen from Rex Ryan and Marty Morningwig's offense. They've been battled all week long as the coach, the coordinator, the entire organization, and for them to come here against a really good defense, a top 10 defense, are the Minnesota Vikings. But that drive was very impressive by Geno Smith and company.
And there is Anton Exum, who appeared to have a recovered fumble, unable to fall on the football. The Jets capitalize as Geno Smith marches him down the field in just under 3 minutes to tie it at 24.
All on Teddy Bridgewater with 23 seconds to go. And he and his offense making plays, and do they have enough time?
23 seconds remaining. Vikings with 2 timeouts in their back pocket. See where Folk kicks it here. Straight down the center of the field. Vikings have played off a couple of bounces. This is Patterson. Stutter step, crosses the 15, past the 20, and brought down at the 21-yard line as 7 precious ticks come off the clock. Another reminder, the Subway postgame show is next. JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cower with all the latest scores and highlights on the Subway postgame show coming up next.
Real quick, Sparrow. You know, Johnson's been really good on the double moves at getting deep in one-on-one coverage against these New York Jets corner. They have been on the double move. They've had opportunities. He scored a touchdown on one of them with 2 timeouts left for the Vikings. You have an opportunity to take a shot down the field and still call timeout.
Teddy Bridgewater a week removed from his best performance as a rookie last week. The home win over the Panthers. Only his 9th career start, sitting at 4 and 4. 1st and 10, Bridgewater, he leads the sack, throws up the field. It is no signal yet. Right battling Rolls, and they say right with the catch for the Vikings. Penalty marker is thrown. Boy, Sally, you thought for a moment Walls had it for the pick. Right, somehow the catch.
Neutral zone defense, number 91. That penalty is declined. First down.
28-yard pass play. What a play by Wright.
You knew this ball was caught by someone. You didn't know if it was intercepted or if it's a reception by Wright, but he's able to wrestle the ball away from the defender, comes down with it. Quick timeout. Clock stops with 9 seconds to go. They still have a timeout in their back pocket, but 9 seconds maybe gives you a chance for one play, and you better call the timeout quick. You're going to set up for a field goal.
You saw the career long for Blair Walsh, 56 yards. Still outside of that range considerably here. The target line is the 37 for Walsh. 7 seconds. 6 over the middle. Bridgewater sliding. Right run by Jennings, and that'll get him much closer. Right at the target line. It looks as though they'll spot it at the 38. 13 yards, and here comes Walsh to attempt a game winner.
Jennings, a 9-year veteran. He knew he had to catch it, and he had to really get going to get to the sideline to get the clock stopped with 3 seconds to go.
Sally, you try to ice him here with your last timeout?
I go ahead and let him kick it. He hadn't had a whole lot of time to warm up. Go ahead and let him kick it. Let the chips fall where they may.
Career long 56 yards. It appears as though Rex will do just that. They'll burn their final timeout.
This is a 30-second.
Sally, one thing about Walsh, as you look at it, that last completion one more time.
Yeah, he comes across the formation, and that's where he gets leverage against the defender, Kyle Wilson, who you talked about earlier. Now, here's the reason why I said I wouldn't ice him. Sometimes I think if the kicker has to run out and hurry and kick it.
Yeah, we've seen it backfire.
We've seen it backfire. Now you give him time to get into rhythm and get into thought. So that's just me. You know, Coach Ryan's been at this for quite a long time, and obviously, this is a really good kicker. He's capable of making it when you allow him time to get into rhythm.
Since entering the league in 2012, he has been the best distance kicker on field goals. He's led the league with 17 kicks of 50-plus, and this one, not even close.
He appeared to rush himself, Blair Walsh. Not even close, as you mentioned. Pushed it to the right, and they're saying this ball live. Now they blow the whistle. We're going into overtime.
So that will take us to the end of regulation. A 44-yard field goal by Nick Folk ties it. Walsh unable to convert from 56. And that will take us to the extra session here in Minneapolis.
There's the hold. Did he get it down cleanly? Oh, I'm not so sure.
Jeff Locke, their punter.
There it is.
The holder on the play.
He just pushed it, didn't he?
Wonder if he may have lost his footing a bit, did Walsh. Now, we mentioned earlier that it's a frigid field here. They do have the heating coils underneath the artificial surface here. That keeps the field at around 50 degrees. And so Mike Zimmer looks on. So the 15 minutes will be put on the clock here for the overtime rules. A touchdown or a safety on the first possession wins the game.
All right, Captain, let me explain the overtime rules. We will play one 15-minute overtime period. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball unless the team that receives the opening kickoff scores a touchdown or the team that is initially on defense scores a safety. All replay challenges will come from the replay booth. Fourth quarter timing rules will be in effect. Each team will get 2 timeouts. If at the end of the 15-minute period the score is still tied, it will be declared a tie. Okay? New York, you still get to call the coin toss this evening. Red H is heads. The NFL logo is tails.
Tails.
The Jets have chosen tails. And it's tails. They want the ball. Okay. New York has won the overtime toss and will receive. Let's have a great overtime period.
All right, so that sets the stage. Jets will have it when we come back. Start overtime. You're watching the NFL on CBS. A little late snow here just for added effect as we head to overtime. Temperatures in the low 30s. It feels like 23 when you factor in the wind chill. All tied at 24. Jets will have possession to start overtime. The Vikings are guaranteed a possession unless the Jets score a touchdown or the Vikings get a safety, which would end the game in their favor. C.J. Graham takes a knee. Geno will come onto the field from the 20. 1 week after returning to a starting role last week in the 3-point loss to Miami. Nice little satisfaction result this would be if he can pull it out on the road.
Yeah, and on the Jets' last offensive possession, Geno Smith led his team down the field to get the game-tying field goal. He's played very well today. Besides the very first pass attempt of the game, which was intercepted in return for a touchdown.
Chris Johnson Cuts back, gets to the 25-yard line. Well, we have seen almost every type of play in this game. Sally mentioned some of the fireworks. As you see Chris Johnson's numbers, we've had a pick six, we've had a safety by Sheldon Richardson, a couple long touchdown passes by both quarterbacks.
And if you're Marty Morningwig in this situation, you go back to the ground game. Allow it to get the offense in rhythm.
2nd and 5. This is Johnson. Sally, interesting, they've gone away from Ivory, at least for the moment. Ivory's has been their best runner today, 73 yards on the ground. Although Johnson now starting to put a nice little game together at over 50 yards running.
Yeah, this offensive line starting to get movement in the run game, as they pretty much have for Marty Morningwig, the offense coordinator, all day long. They've been very effective creating this 3rd and 3 opportunity. You can see they've been very good all day on 3rd down. 7 of 15, simply because they've been good at running the ball on 1st and 2nd down.
Powell, the large setback on 3rd and 3. Smith from the gun, all day to throw. Over the middle, he's got Decker for the 1st down. Inside Vikings territory to the 47. 27-yard strike from Smith. Injured Viking player appears to be the safety, Robert Blanton.
Coming off the bunch formation, see a line tight, and then he's able to cross field and get underneath 21, Josh Robinson, to be able to make the catch. Decker gets a spin on that ball. Very impressed with the way that the offense was able to click on that play.
Blanton, the 3rd-year safety, former 5th-round pick out of Notre Dame, has to crawl to the Viking sideline.
And right now, this offense for Marty Morningwig, Spiro, over 400 yards total offense for the New York Jets. Again, getting it done today against a top 10 ranked defense in the Minnesota Vikings.
First time this season that Eric Decker has gone over 75 yards receiving in what has been his best statistical game of the season. 1st and 10 from the 47. Ivory back on the field, Smith from the gun. Draw play, Ivory. He is met by Griffin. No gain. Barely able to get to the line of scrimmage.
The ability to get stops for the Minnesota Vikings defense, I think, is predicated on making plays like what you just saw. Slam the door shut on the Jets running game on 1st and 2nd down. And as we said at the top of the game, put it on Geno. Force him to have to make plays on 3rd and long, but you got to get stops on 1st and 2nd downs.
We welcome our new audience that has just joined us in overtime. Opening possession, a touchdown here for the Jets. Wins it. 2nd and 10, Smith. Pocket collapses. Appeared to be a face mask on the play. Smith is going to run it out of bounds just outside the 40. As that clock stops with 12:38 left. Linval Joseph applying the pressure. It has been a wild game right from the start. For those of you that have just joined us, pick 6 thrown by Geno Smith on the very first play from scrimmage. We've seen both quarterbacks, Sally, play very economical football. The offensive numbers to this point.
And the Jets, by far, winning time of possession, getting many more opportunities to make plays.
Third and 6. Smith under pressure, deflected in the air and incomplete. So the Vikings defense going to get off the field with just over 12 minutes left in overtime.
Pressure by Captain Munnerlyn, number 24. Forced the early throw from Geno. There you see right there. And then that ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage by Everson Griffin.
Griffin has been so impactful for the Vikings defense all season. Missed a deflected potential interception earlier in the 4th, as this one is down inside the 10 after a 40-yard punt. We mentioned the fireworks that started. Sally on the very first play. Hodges the pick 6.
Hodges gets the Vikings on the board, but then Sheldon Richardson gets his team going with the sack and the safety. And then how about Percy Harvin returning to the team here that he played for 4 years, making plays. Fumble recovery by Felton. Gets another touchdown for the Vikings. Cordero Patterson fumbles, and then the field goal they come from both teams. Curly fumbles, Vikings can't recover. The Jets maintain possession. They go down for the game-tying field goal for Rex Ryan. And you can see Walsh had an opportunity at the end of regulation. He misses. That's why we're locked up at 24 apiece.
Walsh today just 1 of 3 field goals. That last miss at the end of the fourth from 56 yards. This is Matt Asiata, a third-year running back out of Utah. And this is what it looks like. The 2 passing touchdowns, both long strikes by these 2 young quarterbacks.
The defenses are getting in on it, returning an interception for a touchdown. Get a safety, fumble recovery for a touchdown as well. And now that both teams have possessed the ball here in overtime, the first team scores, Spiro, they're going to win the ball game.
At this point, sudden death. 2nd and 8 from inside the 10. Bridgewater has time, dumps it underneath. That's Asiata. Crosses the 10. Minnesota needing to get to the 18-yard line. Tackled by David Harris.
And the lack of good field position has hurt Mike Zimmer's team here in the fourth quarter. On their previous possession, remember, they were pinned deep inside their end zone, really could not get the offense going. Now they find themselves 3rd and 5 inside their own 15-yard line. And again, more than anything, got to be careful with what you do with the football. The only thing worse than a punt is a turnover.
Vikings at 5 and 7, still mathematically in playoff contention. But they need a win here against the Jets. 3rd and 5. Quick throw, far side. This is Wright, first down and more. Only Richardson to beat. Wright will score. And the Minnesota Vikings win it on an 87-yard catch and run to Jarius Wright.
Sometimes plays turn out better than what you had designed it for. This is just going to be an easy completion on 3rd down for Teddy Bridgewater. It's what the coordinator, Norv Turner, wanted. Just a quick throw out to Wright, but Wright does the rest because he breaks tackles. This is going to be him here, and there's Teddy Bridgewater's going to get it over to him. Quick wide receiver screen. Look at the blockers out in front. 1 missed tackle right there. From there, he's going to run away from the big lineman, Sheldon Richardson, who gives great effort just running that far down the field. It's a walk-off homer for Jarius Wright.
Biggest moment in the 3-year career of Wright, former 4th-round pick out of Arkansas. 87 yards.
And it was Jarrett, 37, who missed the tackle. He was the one who had the opportunity to get Wright on the ground. Once he missed, Wright turned on the Jets and outran the defense for a touchdown.
The Vikings dimming playoff hopes, staying alive. And for the Jets, a season of frustration continues as they fall to 2-11.
How about Wright? With that catch and run, he goes over 100 yards receiving on the day. Charles Johnson also over 100 yards receiving. They've made plays for their young quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, and what a duel between he and Geno Smith here in Minneapolis.
Subway postgame show is next. For Solomon Wilcots, our entire CBS crew, Spiro Dita saying so long from Minneapolis. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. We'll send you to James Brown in New York after this.